These are words to work by. Supplies, solutions, support. Call.
All right, everybody. Welcome aboard. My name is Doc Severson. This is Ready Set Crypto. Today is Wednesday, the 28th of February in 2024. And before I get started, I've got an audio sample that I want to play for you because I've been waiting for, 7 years to play this? But here's what I got to say for today.
Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, hey, hey.
Do you remember?
What's
There we go. Okay. Welcome aboard, everybody. Welcome to Ready Set Crypto today. My name is Doc, and we're going to be looking at charts and looking forward and not necessarily looking back on the crusty old days of crypto. So I think you can see here Bitcoin has had a hell of a day here, and we've almost hit the all-time highs. Not quite. And I've got some things to say about that one, and I'm also interested to find out where you guys are coming in from today. Where are you located? Where are you dialing in from today? And where would you like to, what coin pairs would you like to take a look at? So we're going to all do this for about the next 30 minutes, and I'll put my opinion on the coins and look around the market a little bit and see what opportunities there are out there. Welcome aboard, everybody. Okay, so who do we got here? We got Tuckafu, we got Shopping Avenue, Entheos Sapien from Brooklyn. Let's see, we have Ed Hughes coming in from Chicago. We have Jack from Darwin, Matt from Seattle. We have Chris Harvey. What's up? Yeah, hello from the Netherlands. Victor, hello from London. We have Rene from Flavortown. We have, of course, you guys know that's the C-Bus, right? And let's see, we have Joey from Pennsylvania. Let's see. Let's see, Joey wants to look at Marsh. Cool. A great crypto rush from Southern California, SoCal. Ron Meyerson from Miami. We have Adriano from Brazil. We have John from San Francisco. We have Murphy from Maryland. Coob. Hey, Coob, how you doing? From SoCal. Ruby Moon Vapes from Lee, London. We have Ray coming in from Simpsonville. We also have, let's see, Tuckafu's coming in from Oakland, or what's left of it. I haven't been to Oakland for 30 years now. So let's see. And we got, finally, we got Alex coming in. So we got a great crowd today. Thank you for joining me here today. And let's get started. All right. So what I'd like to do is, while you guys let me know which coins you'd like to look at, let's take a look at Bitcoin. And actually, the most interesting thing here, let's get my magic pen going. Let's get the pen going. Okay. And there we go. The thing that I like the most about what's been happening, especially in the last few months, is if you guys have listened to me at all through the years, it's that we have gone to a stair-stepping type of movement now. Stair-stepping. So breakout, consolidation, breakout, consolidation, breakout. What should lead to consolidation from here? Also, if you look at the monthly chart, we have what's the beginning of a massive cup pattern. And what I would expect to see is the handle breaking out from here. So cup with handle. And what I was talking about in yesterday's newsletter was if you want to talk about the measured move, what you do is you take the neckline of the cup down to the very base of the cup, which was back here in the FTX bottom in 22. And then what you do is you take this from the neckline and you do an extrapolation of that. And so the measured move of this is over 120,000. So this is typically how you look at a rounded base like this. What we should expect to see from here, guys, because markets don't go up forever. We don't want them to go up forever. We may get into, with this move here, we may get into some consolidation, although I don't know if it's going to happen if we still have more money coming in through, imagine that bridge that's out there, right? So imagine the bridge to the financial world that's bringing the traditional finance money coming across the bridge through the ETFs and into Bitcoin. I mean, the other day we only had like 900 Bitcoin mined, and there was, I think the number is something like 2,100 bought. So this is unsustainable. Right now we have, it's just an insane supply-demand imbalance. But I'm thinking that what would be good for this is maybe a couple of months in consolidation over here, and then watch the breakout from there. So we're in, I would say, as Churchill put it, this is not the beginning of the end. This is the end of the beginning. I think this is the end of the beginning of this bull run. So it's been going on for a little over, it's a year and 2 months now, and I think it's just getting started. And of course, we haven't even got to the halving yet. We haven't even got to the altcoin rally yet. And you gotta look at this and say the Bitcoin ETFs just got printed a month ago, just a little bit over a month ago. We haven't even turned on options for those yet. The big boys don't get involved in ETFs or stocks or anything unless there's options so that they can do risk control. Once that happens, the floodgates will open. And so I've heard people talk about that as coming from either anywhere from late February, which it is right now, so we don't have them yet, to as late as maybe September, October. So once those come along, I can't wait to show you guys how to use that, because it's awesome. You get paid for setting up the pullback. So this is a great way to create income from these options. Yeah, and there's other, I agree with Matthias, is that retail isn't even buying yet. Nobody's aware of this because the people that blew out on the last two peaks, whether it was 2018 or 2021, most of those people have just said, this is a scam, I'm done. And they're sitting on the sideline just suffering in agony right now. Did you know that it's actually been proven by clinical psychologists that sitting on the sideline during a parabolic rally is actually much, much more painful than taking a stop on an actual trade? So there we go. So all kinds to think about today. It doesn't really matter. There's all kinds of people trying to come up with ideas and reasons why we're getting this type of move. Maybe some people are saying that it's due to inflation and that Bitcoin is the only pure play against inflation, which is what we talked about years ago, and it never was back then. Neither has gold been. But now all of a sudden, especially after the banking crisis that happened about a year ago, this is a real possibility. And also what you're noticing is that most of the political candidates are okay with this now, at least in terms of the election. And Elizabeth Warren is sort of like going quietly into the distance on this topic. Okay, so I'm going to shut up now, and I'm going to look for your coin pairs. So maybe we'll come back to this in a minute. Okay, so the first one, let's see, the first one in here is Matthias F.I. Fidium. Okay, so let's take a look at that. F.I. Fidium. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah, there it is. Okay, this one, the only one I can find here is a wrapped version of this, and it's so new but there's not really much to see from it unless you've got a different pair that I can look at, which is not be the case. Okay. Let's see. CVNA, Antheo Sapin has talked about CVNA, so let's look at that one as well too. Oh, maybe that's a stock. Is that a stock? That must be Carvana. Okay. Let's reset this one. Yeah, it's in a range and it's breaking out to the range, but I mean, there's better ones out there. So, yeah, maybe it's probably not my cup of tea. I think you're right. Okay, next one up. Next one up is, let's see, from Flavortown, we have a request for Theta and T-Fuel. Okay, let's see, Theta, USDT. Ooh, look at that go. Okay. Theta is one of those ones that's fallen off my radar, and it's because this has been in a horrendous base for a long period of time. Actually, let me get these Bollingers off of here because they can get really ugly. So I'm just going to go with, this is the current base that this one's been in. And remember, the last time we did one of these sessions, we talked quite a bit about this, is that all these stocks, or not stocks, all these coin pairs are in a base. A lot of these were in just a really horrible base throughout 2022, and some even into 2023, just because of the fact that Bitcoin in most of the top 10 has taken all the oxygen out of the room from these alts. So what you have to watch for is where the base finishes out, and I would say the base on this one is about 250. So for Theta, it's about 250. I would let it do what it's going to do down here, unless you're super bullish on this long term and you want to accumulate at lower prices. But myself, I would prefer to look for the breakout at about 250. On this one. All right, so that's Theta. And the next one is, let's see, and T-Fuel. Okay, so let's look at T-Fuel. How's everybody doing today? All right, so T-Fuel versus Tether. Let's see how this one is doing. Okay, so this one, we have to get rid of the initial pump. This is so typical. Like the initial release has got this pump up to 11, and that's usually something that's driven through social media, and then they dump it. And then, so this one has only been around since March of 2021. Okay, that's a weekly chart. So here's the same thing. Here's the base. Again, I'm more looking at the bigger picture here. If you're just looking at, and so it's getting near the neckline of the base, which is going to be close to 10 cents. But if you're looking at the daily chart, you're looking at this thing and you're going, wow, this thing is going to, it's going amazingly well, which is true. It depends on your time frame and your point of view. But to me, this is still trapped in jail, down in purgatory. And once it gets out of there, then it should start to really run. So I usually don't buy anything unless it's in an uptrend. I don't want to buy something in a downtrend because what is low can get lower. Okay, all right, onward. Let's move on. Next one for Joey is Marsh. And if I miss anything, please let me know. Go ahead and type it in a second time. So this is Unmarshall. And we'll look at this via Tether. Wow, these are all looking almost exactly the same. Again, nice move lately. The bigger picture is it's still within this base down here. It's still within this base. And I would say this, I'll tell you what, I want to get rid of this volume here. See if we can get rid of, there we go. Volume is clogging things up, and this is why. So you can see where the neckline is here, and it's going to be about 30 cents. So this one's still in the basement waiting to get out, and it's going to be about 30 cents before it gets out. That's the bigger picture on this one. Obviously, there's a lot more potential from this. If you want to get an early start, yeah, you can play along with this. We now have a golden cross on the 50 and 200 day, which is at least positive. So that is Marsh. Okay, let's see. Okay, Math from Seattle. Let's look at Render. Render has been doing rather well lately, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it has. Again, this is the daily chart. This one is in beautiful shape. Look at the move on this. This is Render token. And remember what we were talking about with rounded bases. Okay, so what I would expect to see for Render token, and this goes back to 2021, is more than likely some type of consolidation here, which sets up and forms the handle for the cup with handle pattern. Now, their measured move on this one is the distance from 8 down to 50 cents. So basically, the measured move target is another 750 on top of this. So the measured move target for Render token is about 1550. So this one looks pretty good. If you don't want to sit around and wait for the handle to be traded, then you can just go ahead and go long at this point. Although there is a little bit of exhaustion on Render token at this point. If we look at actually the daily chart is performing beautifully. This is exactly the type of flag that I like to see. This is really, really good structure on Render token. Really good. Okay, who am I missing? Okay, SEI. So SEI is the next one. And this one's on our list as well, too. Good structure, not amazing, but good structure. This is really, really good from here. So you're starting to see this pulling into breakout consolidation. Breakout consolidation. It's getting a little sloppy. It could use a rest, but I still very, very much like the structure that we're seeing. That's on the weekly chart, and here's the daily chart. So what we're seeing on the daily chart is this pulling into some type of pennant pattern like this. We should expect to see a breakout from that point fairly soon. There is a fair amount of energy available at the daily chart, so that's good. Okay, let's see. Next one is BitF, and that is a mining stock. Let's go over here to the stocks, and I think that's Bitfarm, is it not? Bitfarms. Okay, what's happening with Bitfarms? Almost the same price chart, right? Almost the same price chart. Okay, this one is broken out of the base. This one has broken out of purgatory, so you can see that basing pattern down here. It's broken out, it's retested the top of the neckline, and it's off and running. So this one's looking pretty good right now. Not amazing, but pretty good. And we're seeing lots of the same type of movement, like everybody's favorite mining stock is Riot Blockchain, and this one looks very much the same. But Bitfarms looks pretty good. It's got a nice positive trend to it. I would say it's very positive right now. Okay, so that was for Matt from Seattle. Let's see, who else is there? Let's see, we just looked at SEI. So Alex, we're going to look at Solana. And Solana's been a little bit, the wind has been taken out of its sails lately. Solana was like our rock star for the longest time here, and then it's just kind of slowed down. So this is the weekly chart, and what we're seeing is it's pulling into a nice consolidation like so, right? So some of it may be because of the fact that it's up to $120 now, but that didn't stop Ethereum, that didn't stop Bitcoin, so don't let the price scare you. So this one is now building up a lot of energy. That's the weekly chart energy, looks really good. Daily chart energy looks really good. This thing should be breaking out. This is an ascending triangle pattern. This should be breaking out over 120 before too long. So that is Solana. Okay, Victor is looking for Ocean and Rose. Ocean's one of those ones, we watched this thing years and years and years ago, and it just didn't do anything. It would just go crazy, right? So this is all the way back here in 2020. This one's gotten out of the purgatory. This was about a 60-cent neckline. So on the weekly chart, this is a nice move, looking good. And on the daily chart, it's a little sloppy, but I like the consolidation. It's making those nice moves here. Breakout, consolidation. Look for the next breakout move to stick over, I'd say, 82 to 85 cents or so. That is Ocean. Let's look at Rose for you. I think Rose was a pretty good chart that we looked at last time. Okay, Rose is in consolidation at this point, and this is, I would say this is more of, this has gotten outside the base, so that's good news. Here's our base. It's gotten outside the base. Now it needs to break above 15 cents. If it can't break above 15 cents, then this is a non-performer. So watch out for this one. This one's getting kind of messy right now, but we need to see this break above 15 cents. There's plenty of energy for it to do so. Again, right now it's a battle for capital, right? All these coins, when we got markets that are going ballistic right now, people tend to throw money at markets that are going straight up. And they may not necessarily invest in something that's going sideways. So even though it will have its time later on during altcoin season. Okay, so that's Rose versus the US dollar. Okay, Ray wants to look at Bonk. Bonk. Let's look at Bonk. Okay, this is on the daily chart. This is an unusual pattern. This is an unusual pattern. Okay, so this one went ballistic here. That looks like a rumor. Look how cheap this one is. It's extraordinarily cheap. So I would say I would not want to get, I would wait until the price gets above this level before I go long, because right now this could play around for quite some time. But if it wants to start accumulating, and watch for the volume to come in as well too. So I don't know anything about Bonk, but just looking at the price, that is the level that I would be. Matthias, am I in full bull mode? Yes, we are in bull mode. We have been in a bull mode now since the beginning of 2023. I was cautiously bullish last year at the beginning of the year because we started to see all the right things happening. But what I wanted to see was a big time monthly higher low, a big time monthly higher low on Bitcoin. Let me tell you why we wanted to see that. So what I wanted to see was something like this. In the previous bulls that we've seen, we've always seen a pullback before we see something like that. What we got instead was, instead of a pullback, we got a sideways consolidation in the summer of 2023. And then eventually in September, this thing took off. So I was cautiously bullish through this area, but as we broke above here, it's like, okay, this is it. This is our next bull run. And it's pretty obvious by now, right? So how long will this last? I'll tell you what, guys, I don't want to really see another one of these moves. And it's starting to get like that. And it may even be worse this time, because the more that we go up like this, the more unstable the market gets, which means that we're going to have really, really ugly pullbacks like this. So one of the things that I wrote an article this morning in our platform that said the next time that we come down to the lower Bollinger Band of the weekly chart, that is a back up the truck buying opportunity. That is a back up the truck, mortgage the house, borrow money from grandma, that type of move. So we are still in a bull move, and we will probably still be in a bull move for another year or so. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's a fool's errand to predict the future, But the way that the price is moving at this point, I don't see it turning around. Okay, let's see the next one. Okay, I think we did Fidium, Matthias. I think we did that. Meme coin bonanza. Yeah, there we go. Hey, Seb, how we doing? All right, so QANX, let's go back to just price and volume here. So QANX. Okay, so this is the weekly chart. This one's kind of still in a little bit of purgatory. We've had a nice move here, but if you pull back to the weekly chart, it's still the issue is in doubt. The issue is still in doubt until it's able to get above and beyond. So it's not trending. It's not trending in the manner that I'd like to see. Why? Because we had, look at this pullback that we had all the way from late 23 to early 24, and it almost put in a new lower low. So this one is, the issue is in doubt for QANX right now, I would say. Even though it's had a couple of good weeks trying to catch up. Okay, next one is HOPR. Hopper token. All right, so let's look at, oh, that's an ugly chart. That's just an ugly chart. And what this tells me is there's not a whole lot of liquidity and volume on this one. So even though this one is on Coinbase, anytime that you have candlesticks that are just like massive wicks like this, then somebody's having games with this thing. There's very little liquidity. There's just not enough volume to trade this one yet. So you can just look at these types of, look at the difference between this versus Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, look at the candles. The candles are well-defined and have well-defined price trends in them on a day-by-day basis. But HOPR, not so much. So just be careful of that. Pepe, are you kidding? All right. I haven't looked at Pepe for a while. Wow. Holy smokes. Maybe that's why. Okay, so let's look at this on a weekly chart. Yeah, Pepe, this is, you could buy 1 million of these tokens for a couple of dollars, I think. So, yeah, I don't know what you want me to say on this one. It's certainly left the base. It certainly left the base. I mean, this is, if you're going to get into meme coins, be prepared to lose, The thing is with meme coins, you've got to take profits. You've got to take profits when the thing moons. You got to sell into strength. Don't look at this as a long-term hold. Okay, so Seb, let's see, StormX. StormX. Okay, so that's the wrong one. Let's try this again. Yeah, we don't want to chart something versus BTC when BTC is running like this, right? So StormX, this is a weekly chart, and this is another one that you can just look at the candles and you can tell that there's no volume here. So there was some volume back here, but there's none here. This is like a coin was getting 2 trades a day. So I would steer clear of this one until it starts to get some volume into it. So Koob's question, we know price is king, but is BTC too high, too fast? Well, I think so. Yeah, I think what's going to happen is you're going to see counter price reactions from this. You're going to see people taking profits. You're going to see crazy downside, and you will get. Think about it this way. I forget which one of Newton's laws this is, but for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So if you're going to get a market that does this kind of thing, it can do it almost in perpetuity. It can almost do that relentlessly for as long as it wants to. But when you get a market doing this sort of thing, that's unsustainable. The only thing that sustains that is new demand coming in, and shorts covering, but at some point it reaches balance and it runs out of buyers and there's only sellers left because people are taking profits, people want to short it, do whatever. And then, so the more it goes vertical like that, the more it's likely to come straight back down and retrace it like that. And, shake everybody off, shake off the pikers, right? You've already heard that. So, yeah, I don't like to see Bitcoin doing what it's doing right now, but I understand why it's happening, and it's a matter of supply and demand. We knew this was going to happen when you connected all the traditional $33 trillion of the traditional finance world into this microscopic little cryptocurrency market. But if you understand that Bitcoin is the number one performing asset over the past, 5 to 10 years, or whatever it is, then people want a piece of that. They just say, hey, Mr. Asset Manager, just give me 2% of my portfolio and get an ETF, get a Bitcoin ETF. And if you have 5 million people all saying the same thing, give me 2%, give me 2%, all of a sudden, whoosh, all this massive demand comes in. And then when the options come along with that, that's where the mutual funds and the major hedge funds are going to be investing in this as well too. But they're very patient. They will wait for a pullback. Victor, is it worth scaling out a BTC in the coming days and weeks to allocate more on alts? I don't think so. I think you treat them differently. I don't think you do one or the other. I think you treat Bitcoin as a potential, one play, and then scale up money on your alts, wait for your time on alts, because it's not like one goes down and the other one goes up. They both will go up. It's just what will happen is Bitcoin will slow down. But I mean, look at all the highs in the past. I mean, it's not like it's always the alts are late to the party. That's really it. And the only reason you're getting into alts is because they're cheap and they're explosive. They can do 10x, 100x, those kind of things. But I would treat it as two different piles of money. Do I check the volume too? Absolutely. Yes, I do. Yeah, but I can just look at the candles and I can just look at a candle and say, I don't want anything to do with this. Okay, let's see. Tukafu, Ethereum Classic. I'm going to speed up here a little bit because we're running a little late. So Ethereum Classic is one of our top 20, and it's doing okay. It's not great. It's doing okay. You can see the base. It's just, I'd say it's right at the top of the base. This is a rounded base. It's doing all right. It should do well, but it by no means is it doing as well as its big brother. Let's see. No, I'm not going to do a complex pair. Let's see. Arc block. There's arc block. Okay. Wow. Look at that thing go. My goodness. This is one that was like formerly, hanging down in the sewer and is just taken off here. That's a weekly chart. So look at this is what I'm talking about here, guys. Range expansion, range contraction, range expansion. Now this is getting a little sloppy. It's getting a little sloppy. I'd like to see, but as long as it holds the swing test, this is the swing test here. As long as it holds the swing test, we're still good. So this has got to hold 1.6, but I don't want to see it coming back down into the pattern. But that's a very nice transition for arc block. Okay, didn't we do Marsh already? I thought we did Marsh. Let's see if I recognize this. Yeah, I think that's one of the first ones we did, was on Marshall. Okay, let's see. Phantom, Omar Sharif. Let's see, FTM. I have not looked at Phantom in a long time. All right, so we're going to look at, and that's a nice looking chart. Let's look at the weekly chart. Ooh, weekly chart says it's still in the base. It's still subterranean. Still in the base, 60 cents. So let it flying around in there. If you want to do short-term trades, you can. But I wouldn't put any major capital until it breaks 70 cents. All right, next one is Kava. Kava, what, you tell me, do you think that's in the base? I think so. Don't like it yet. There's better ones out there. There's better ones out there. Okay, let's see. I may not be able to catch up with you guys here today. Okay, so next one, Spillways, Spillways ticker. This appears to be the only way that I can trade, that I can do this is on Uniswap. And there's very little, this is a very low liquidity. It's doing obviously really well right now. It's almost impossible for me to do any kind of analysis on it, but it seems to be accumulating nicely. I mean, this is what we should be seeing right now. All right, next one is FET. FET versus US dollar. Fetch AI. That one looks good. It really looks good. It's leaving the rounded base. Look at this. There's the rounded base, and it's trying to leave it at 1.2. So this is an extraordinarily good looking, and I like this type of movement. This is a standard weekly bull flag, breaking higher, range expansion, range contraction. Looks really good. That's Fetch AI. And the next one, here's for Omar, is Mint Layer. And this is actually one of our alts that we track, is Mint Layer. And I got this idea from y'all. And this one's kind of in a consolidation. So until it breaks 80 cents, I would not look at Mint Layer until it gets out of there. Okay. Hector, where could we trade options right now? There's two places you can trade options. If you are, I mean, these are proper options. If you're, these are crypto options. Deribit is if you're outside of the United States, is Deribit. Everything is, it's basically the last time I looked at it because they kicked me off, so I can't really even look at it now, but it's Bitcoin, it's Ethereum, and it's cash settled. If you're in the United States, the only way to really truly trade options is with LedgerX, which is a physically settled options exchange. It's fairly illiquid. It is Bitcoin, and I think it's also maybe Ethereum, but it's physically settled. So the problem I have with them is that you have to wire money. So you have to go back, and the 1970s called and they say, hey, we want you to wire money from your bank over into this exchange. You can't ACH, you can't send them a check, you can't do any of that crap. You have to wire. So it's like $50 for me to wire money over to there. Now there's other options on futures which you can trade if you're in the US or have a US broker. Options on futures which are on Bitcoin options. And so there's Bitcoin micro options, which I think are probably much better for most retail traders. So you can trade those, but understand you can only trade them for 5 days a week during the standard market hours. Actually, no, that's not true. Not 5 days a week is what you're limited to. You can't trade them over the weekend. So, and that's kind of it. Now, what's important is when the ETFs get options, then if you have access to a U.S. broker, then you can trade options on Bitcoin, on the Bitcoin ETFs. And those will be enormous. Those will be so important. And I can't wait to show you guys those. Okay, let me run through these here really quick. CRO, this is Kronos. Kronos is okay. It's not great. It's not great. I mean, there's better charts, and as you can see, Kronos is still trundling around in the sewers right now. I mean, there's better days for Kronos, but this is one of the This is one of the large caps in our top 30, and it's not doing all that great. Okay, Solana TIA. So this is, where is TIA? I thought I had this in here. This is Celestia. Celestia is doing quite well. Pretty ugly pullback right now. Kind of choppy price action. This is Celestia, so we'll see if this one ever gets in anywhere. Let's see. How's Shiba doing? Most of the meme coins are really kind of poor right now. Shiba was, a top one here, but look at the volume is starting to come in. So this is on a daily chart. We've gotten a lot of volume on Shiba, so this is turning into a nice looking cup here. So look for the consolidation up here, and you may get a nice breakout from this one. Okay, ABT. Let's look at ABT, and hopefully that's not Abbott Labs. Arc Block. Didn't we look at this one? Yeah, we looked at Arc Block already. Okay, Tony, let's do Polkadot. Polkadot's looking okay. Especially lately, before we would look at Polkadot and we'd say, God, this thing is awful. It's still in the base though. So Polkadot has not escaped purgatory. It's still down in the base. But right, so if your only view is just looking at the daily chart, it looks pretty good right now. But that's in the short term. Longer term, it's still kind of stuck, and it may be stuck for a while until it's able to break above there. H-bar, US dollar. Did I cut out? Let's look at spot. Okay, this is H-bar, and it's looking really good. Really, really good. This is Hedera hash graph, right? So nice looking flag, and it's operating really, really nicely. So this is starting to wake up, and it looks really good. I like that. Okay, Bitcoin 23 cycle, 2 short bull runs wrapped into one. Okay. What I would expect to see, Mr. T. Actually, I did meet the real Mr. T once. He was, hey brother, how you doing? It was great. Hey, it's Mr. T. Hey brother. So what I would expect to see, notice what happened here in 2020, 2021. We had a massive move. We had a massive retracement. And then we had a finishing move. And that was pretty much it. And then after it made a lower high, lower low, it was all over back here as we transitioned into December of 21. Boo. Okay, so that's pretty common. We will get, and if you know anything about Elliott wave, we may be in wave number 3 right now. So we may end up doing a pretty nasty wave 4, wave 5 to finish this off. And then we may get another miniature bear market for a while, probably next year. And then we may do a finishing move on there in 25, 26. I mean, if you play this into years going forward, this could be 7 to 8 figures by the time that it's done. Okay, let me shut up and finish off the last few here. SUI. Shut up and chart, Doc. Shut up and chart. Okay, so SUI, nice looking base, right? I don't like this all that much. So this is a really nice rounded base cup, and it's doing the handle thing right now, but it's getting a little ugly. Nobody wants to stay around for the formation of the handle, but The upside target should be something like 3.5. So you take 2 plus 1.5, and so it's going to be 3.5 is the upside target for this one when it finally gets going. Okay, we already did DOT. We already did Ocean. What about Super? What about Super? Let's look at Super. I like this one. This one is nice linear movements, breakout, consolidation. It got caught in this mess today, but this is a really nice looking chart lately. IMX immutable. I like this one. IMX versus Tether. This one looks really, really good. Really good. Nice consolidation, nice breakouts. This is, I mean, guys, think about how you climb a mountain. You don't just summit a mountain in one day, right? You don't just go flying up this thing and, you get to the top. You're going to go as far as you can, and then you're going to rest for a while. You're going to sit down, you're going to rest, you're going to, get the pain out of your gut. And then you're going to go as far as you can, and then you're going to rest again. And then you're going to go as far as you can, then you're going to rest, and then finally you summit. That's how markets operate. They operate the same way. It's just like an organism. And this is that type of linear movement that I think is so good. Victor, top 3 alts charts. I'm not really looking at alts all that much right now. This is mostly a top 30 rally. Alts will come down the road. Alts will come down the road. Crypto's going to zero by the Mad Bunk. Okay. I hope it'd be 6 feet under by the time that happens. All right. So Flux, let's look at Flux here. Flux is looking pretty good. Let's look at the weekly chart. Oh, it's trying to get out of here. You can see that this entire base, and it's up near the top of the base, so it looks good, but I would wait till it gets out of there first, and then it should fly. But that's Flux. Okay, last couple here. XVG chart, XVG. The Voyage. The Voyage! Well, the Verge is in the base, and it hasn't left the base yet. It still needs to get out of there. And that was Flux, and please, XVG. And then the last one here is Okram 1243. And we're going to go Wolf. TeraWolf. I don't see it. So unless it's a stock, it is a stock. Okay, there we go. We found it. Not looking too good right now. I would not be an investor in TeraWolf. What is my short-term projection for Bitcoin? Do I expect a major retracement? Few YouTubers believe in your TA. Few YouTubers believe so. Okay. Okay, so we'll end on this, all right, guys? What I would expect to see is I would expect to see this flag out in the short term. So this is what I would expect to see. Now, is that my prediction for what is going to happen? Look, the longer that I do this, and I've been doing this now as a professional, I've been making my living from the markets. And the longer I do this, the less I try to predict what's going to happen next. I think the most important thing that you can do is say, look, every morning, come to the markets and say, look, I agree that the price could go up, it could go sideways, or it can go down. What will I do if it does either one of those 3 things? If you can answer that, if you can come into the market every single day and say, okay, I free the market to do whatever it wants to do. Because what we all get caught doing is impressing our needs upon the market. Hey, this should be going higher. And then what do we do? we get on social media and we try to campaign for what we think should happen. All right. Don't we all do that? Or we used to do that. I'm sure none of you guys do that. So we campaign for what we think should happen. And then if it doesn't do that, it's like, oh, this market's crazy. There's somebody manipulating this market. So come to the market every day and understand what you are going to do, whether the price goes higher, goes sideways, or goes lower. Right? So right now, your objective should be to anticipate some type of corrective coming in here. There should be some corrective coming in here. And so your objective is not to get shaken out. If you want to play for the longer, if you want to play for the higher prices, you're going to have to deal with the volatility. Look at what happened. We gave back 50% of this move in 2021 to get a higher high. It wasn't that much higher high, but you're going to have to, if you want the bigger prices, if you want the 100K, if you want the 1 million Bitcoin, you're going to have to hang in there through some pretty ugly volatility that's coming. And you know it's going to happen. And so this is why I think options are going to be the big key. If you can buy puts on something, then you can just sit back and watch the puts print money. And you're delta hedged. And this will be great. Okay, guys, I've run way long, so thank you for dealing with me, and I'll try to come back in a couple of weeks again and do another one of these. As long as markets are moving, I'll come back here and do these. So come see me at readysetcrypto.ONE. readysetcrypto.ONE is where my service is right now. You can get a week of free trial. Check it out. Doesn't cost nothing, as they say. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day and enjoy the bull. You guys take care. Doc out.